advise for you to think of the bright side. You're going to school. What do they say? They say your frontal lobe is developed. You're not just an egg anymore. You're an adult. So now you can be more intentional about the way that you approach college. So today's video is going to be about the importance of moving forward and how that relates to going back to school at an older age. First, I want to share my story. My name is Rebecca. I am 28 years old and I am still working on my bachelor's. The further I get closer to my graduation, the more I realize I'm glad I'm finishing, and it's okay to be a late bloomer. It's okay to not know what you want to pursue. The more I get closer and closer to graduation, the more I feel confident that I chose the right major. I think all too often, sometimes we don't know what it is that we want to do with our lives, let alone at a young age. If you do know what you want to do at a young age, then more power to you. But I realize that it's okay. It's okay if you don't know and you need time to figure it out. After I got out of high school around 2014, I was probably maybe 17 years old, 18 years old. I remember that I went to a school, first of all, that did not require taking the ACT, SAT, whatever. So I didn't take it. My school didn't require it. I remember not having any help much when it came to counselors, counseling services, and college preparation overall. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to go to college. My grandmother had 9 children, 7 girls and two boys. One of the girls being my mother. So I had 6 aunts and 2 uncles. Everyone in my family went to school for doing hair. Everyone. My uncles became barbers and all my aunts became hairdressers. That's what my family's business was, hair. Going to college was not something that was required of me or instilled in me at all. It was just something that I chose to do myself. So fast forward to 2014, after I got out of high school, I just remember thinking to myself, okay, now what? I knew that it probably would be a good idea to stay in school until I can figure out what I want to do next. But I wasn't ready to go to a university. I didn't know what university I would even want to go to. I didn't even know how to apply for a university, how to get a scholarship, how to do anything. My cousin at the time, she stayed really close by a community college. They were doing a college tour, people that may be interested in going to college. And I thought, okay, why not? So I went and I attended the tour and I was shown around the school, and something about it just made me feel like I can do this. It was at my level where I was at the time, coming right off of high school. I ended up attending the community college. I loved it. I had a great time. I met so many friends. I learned a lot about life itself. I made lifelong friends, good memories. I learned about politics. I learned about race, really my opinion in the world. Because before, I felt like I was literally a newborn. Like literally I felt like an egg. Community college taught me so much about life. My friends truly raised me. They taught me how to talk to people, how to deal with people. They gave me more confidence, helped me understand the world I was living in. My mother has MS, I've always known her to be sick my whole life. So she wasn't able to give me those gifts of life, unfortunately. But she did the best that she could. At this time, I'm attending college. I'm attending community college, but I'm also taking care of my mother. Looking back, I realized that might have been one of the things that kind of made me take a little longer. It made me unsure of what I wanted to do next, because I constantly worried about her, what she was going to do, because my biggest fear was her going into a nursing home. Fast forward, I ended up graduating from community college. It took me 4 years to graduate. I went in 2014 and I graduated around 2018. I'm so sorry about that. I was driving to work and I ended up having to stop recording and go into work. Okay, so basically, where I left off, it was the year 2018 and I had just graduated community college. So at this time, I remember still not being absolutely sure what it is I wanted to do. I had these ideas in my head, a couple roads that I could go down. I could either go to trade school and become a dental hygienist, or I could go to college again and pursue a bachelor's in something. I had been thinking about it, obviously, before I graduated, but the whole time I was in school for my prerequisites at my community college, I still didn't know what I wanted to major in. I just knew that I wanted to major in something like artsy. And even though I was lost, not sure, something told me, at least just stay in school, even if you're lost. So that's one thing that I really want to kind of like impart onto you guys, like as far as like any wisdom, any gems that I want to give to you guys watching this video. If you're not sure what you want to do, the last thing that you should do while you're unsure is to stand still. It's good to be working on something. Highly encourage going to community college. At the time, because my mother was always sick, she wasn't able to work. She was receiving a disability income, and that's what we were paying our bills on. So she wasn't able to help me with college or anything. And so I qualified for a Pell Grant. The Pell Grant was like completely enough. My community college was so cheap at the time, it's still cheap, that my Pell Grant was able to pay for the whole thing, and I didn't owe anything to my school by the time I graduated. So back to the story. It was 2018, and like I said, I had to make a decision. I'm like, okay, well, I have been curious about becoming a dental hygienist. I looked into the requirements, and according to my school, I'll need to go attend a 2-year program. If I'm going to become a dental hygienist, first I should at least go see what the career is like. And so I made the decision to become first a dental assistant. Looked up some schools around my house at the time. I was living in Chicago. And so I found this one school. It was like a 12 or 6 week program that you get like a certification at the end. They give you all the tools you need to become a dental assistant. I ended up graduating from that little program, valedictorian, top of my class. It was just a small class of maybe like 15 girls. So I remember I went out and I tried to get my first dental assistant job. Long story short, I worked at about 3 different locations and they all were terrible. I quickly realized I think I like going to school for dental assisting more than I like working as one. Every dentist already has their designated dental assistant. So basically, the only thing that was left to do was to be the certified office garbage girl. And when I say garbage girl, I really mean it. I literally was going around picking up garbage, cleaning the room. I just felt like the janitor. There was so much workplace bullying. A lot of the girls were very like mean and catty. They would talk about each other. I tried my best to pay close attention while I was working there to the dental hygienists and see what they felt about their job. That was the whole reason why I was going into the situation in the first place, to shadow and study the dental hygienist. Basically, I not only realized that I don't like dental assisting, but I realized I don't think I want to be a dental hygienist either. And my reasons for it was, even though they are very, very important and necessary for a dental office, so the job satisfaction is kind of low. And then, like I said, there was a lot of workplace bullying, a lot of catty behavior, because it was like an all girls environment. Only guys that were there were the doctors, and the doctors slash dentists, they were older white men, some of them very intimidating. You know, I don't know, it was just a little weird, and I just couldn't see myself doing this every day for the rest of my life. So I decided I'm going to college. I just remember still not being sure about what my next move was going to be. And next thing I knew, it was 2020 and the pandemic hit. And I just remember things getting really, really bad around March, early March of 2020. I was quarantining with my then boyfriend at his house. I spent that whole year indoors. Like, I didn't go outside. I didn't do much of anything. I was working as a dental assistant, was told that we can't come back to work. Fast forward to the end of 2020, going into 2021, kind of like a reset during the pandemic. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. You know, the pandemic was the first time that in a long time, a lot of us were able to really sit down with ourselves and our thoughts and kind of think about, you know, our life and what it is that we're doing. During that time, I realized, okay, I have my degree, you know, through my associates. I decided that I don't want to go to trade school. So what is next, Rebecca? Just go to university. I also was starting to get those feelings of, you know, I think I'm really tired of living in Chicago. My then boyfriend at the time felt the exact same way. Miraculously, we both came up with this scheme to move out of our hometown and explore. I had the choice of either moving to 3 cities. One was somewhere in Arizona, around Phoenix, basically. The other was Atlanta, Georgia. I highly considered moving there. The third was somewhere in California, around LA or some other city. My mom was still living in Arizona. Sorry, I forgot to mention that when I was taking care of her to a point where I could no longer take care of her because her illness was progressing. So I actually stopped taking care of my mom around 2018, like basically a little bit after I graduated from community college, and she went down to Arizona. I had family in Arizona that wanted to take care of her. At the tail end of 2020, maybe December 2020, we came up with this plan that we were going to move out of Chicago. We decided that he was going to move to Atlanta for a few months because he had family there, and I was going to move to Arizona, but he was going to meet me in Arizona later on down the line. So that actually ended up not happening. He ended up moving to Atlanta for good, and he never came to Arizona, and we ended up breaking up, unfortunately. And I stayed in Arizona. The year is February 2021, and it's my birthday. Around the time of my birthday, I threw like a going away party between my friends and I told everybody that I could that, hey, I am going to be moving out of Chicago, so if you want to see me for the last time, and I don't know how long, come visit me, come to my house on this date, because I'm not going to be coming back unless it's to visit, and I don't plan on visiting for a while. Have you ever felt that feeling like, oh, I just gotta get out of my hometown. I just got to get out of my hometown. I have to see the world. I've been in Chicago my whole life, or insert whatever city, my whole life, and I want to see what else the world has to offer. But let me tell you, that was one of the best decisions I had ever made in my life. I am so glad that I did that. I literally sold all my stuff away, and I packed up all the rest of the stuff, and I carried as much with me in my suitcases that I could afford. And I even mailed some stuff off in boxes. I completely left in March of 2021. I decided to enroll at ASU, Arizona State University. And again, that was one of the best decisions of my life that I made in a long time. Enrolling in ASU, I made the decision to get my bachelor's in journalism. At first it was communications. No, actually at first it was marketing. Then I didn't get in for marketing. I got in for communications. And I had to attend the college for one semester and get like really good grades during that semester so that I can make the change into journalism. And that is exactly where I am right now. So as far as advice and wisdom that I want you guys to take from this story is, sometimes going to school later is better. I honestly feel as though if I were to have went straight to university and not going to any of the other things that I did, not exploring or having the time to think about anything, I might have been someplace else. I would have been done with school faster, yes. However, I would not have done school intentionally. Now that I'm 28 years old versus being 23 years old, I'm going to school with a very intentional mindset. If I would not have done this, I would have probably made the mistake that a lot of people make in college, and that is going to class and going straight back home. Now that I am this age, I try my best to not do that. I try my best to get involved in my school. I joined like 3 clubs. I'm still looking for more clubs to join. I'm trying to be active in my school. I'm trying to make friends. I'm trying to apply for scholarships. Basically, I'm trying to utilize every single thing that my school has to offer and really take advantage of this time that I have, that I'm still in school. I am very blessed to have such a baby face. Most people that I tell, I'm 28 years old, they're just like, what? I had no clue. You don't even look it, and that's really nice and all, but I am. And, sometimes it makes me feel really bad. It used to make me feel a lot worse, but I realized that I have nothing to be ashamed of because everyone's journey is different. Everyone's life is different. And some people actually are born into situations where they know exactly what they want to do. They know what they want to accomplish. And they might have all the tools and things that they need to accomplish it because of their upbringing and who, brought them into this world. But they could be very complacent. I've met a lot of people that have so many advantages. Along my journey, I've met people that have, that stable 2-parent household, that one parent or that 2 parents that can pay for everything and anything that child needs. And a lot of times those children, those adults that they grow up to be adults that are very complacent. And I'm not saying every single child or adult that had very active, helpful parents is complacent. But sometimes when you don't have those resources, that is the motivation that you need in order to go out and find them. So now I try to make sure that I am very intentional. I joined a club for Black journalists. I joined a club for girls in sports journalism. I joined this organization called TRIO for students that are low income and they might need assistance. I use the gym at school. I try to work out. And I've only scratched the surface, like I'm utilizing my career services to better my resume. I'm talking to my professor, my counselors. I'm asking questions. I'm interviewing. I'm asking people for interviews, for internships. I'm going to school in a very intentional way. And I feel as though doing it this way, I'm going to come out with way more things that I've extracted from my college than some of these people that are really, really young. They don't really know what they want to do. They're not really sure yet. Or they are sure about taking certain classes or going down certain roads, but they're still lost to some degree. They still don't have that direction, and they don't have the motivation to go out and look for programs and resources and things that can propel them outside of college, after college. When I graduate, I want to be in a position where I have 10 or more jobs lining up to hire me, all paying, a good salary. I want to feel very confident, and I feel like now is the time to do that groundwork, to make connections, make friends, talk to people. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos of people that got dream internships and just see what they did. A lot of people, they utilized online portfolios and the school projects and things that they did, they placed on there, and they were able to get those internships at BET. They were able to get those internships at Paramount. They're able to get, whatever political internships and go to different states and participate in politics, go to Cali, and, there's so many programs, there's so many things out there. So I advise for you to think of the bright side. You're going to school. What do they say? They say your frontal lobe is developed. You're not just an egg anymore. You're an adult. So now you can be more intentional about the way that you approach college. Okay. And that's really all I wanted to say for this video. If there's anything else, any questions that you guys have for me about my journey, I'll be glad to share it, glad to answer any questions. I can put all of my information, how to reach me, down in the description bar below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, help me out. I'm trying my best to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's my #1 goal so far with this channel this year, really trying to grow this channel. And that's really all I want to say. If you're older and you're in college, be thankful, because now you can approach it with intention. And you know what? When you finish, you're going to be so glad you did. And people will be so proud of you. Your kids will be proud of you. You'll be proud of you. Okay? And that's all I want to say. You guys have a lovely night, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.